Look, here's the thing about retirement. Most people think there's a magic number. $2 million, maybe 1.5, or an age, 62, 65. It feels like if you hit that number, you're ready. But here's the catch. Numbers alone don't tell you anything. Meet Alex. He's 48, works in Philadelphia, and has been saving diligently for 20 years. On paper, Alex is close to $2 million in retirement accounts. But is he ready? That depends on a lot more than just balances. People want control. They want certainty. And money feels like the answer. I just need a little more, they tell themselves. A few more dollars, a few more years. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Here's what most people don't realize. Being ready isn't about a dollar figure. It's about conditions. Real conditions. Things like whether your retirement income actually covers your spending, whether your Social Security strategy is optimized, and if you're prepared for market surprises. And let's be honest, sometimes the biggest hurdle isn't math. It's fear. Fear of leaving a paycheck behind. Fear of the unknown. Fear of making a mistake. Now, if you've been counting numbers and feeling anxious, comment 1. Be honest. This is exactly the conversation you need to have. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break it down. We'll walk through 5 key conditions that actually tell you when you're ready to retire. Not age, not a magic number, but the truth you need to see. Now, let's start with something most people never calculate accurately. What retirement income actually looks like. Take Alex again. He earns $120,000 a year. Sounds comfortable, right? But here's the thing. He's still saving aggressively. 20% goes into his 401k. Social Security taxes are taken out. Health insurance, commutes, lunches out. Those numbers add up. Most people just look at their gross salary and assume that will cover their retirement. That's a mistake. When Alex breaks it down, a lot of those expenses disappear once he retires. No commute, no work wardrobe, fewer meals out. And of course, the money he was putting into his 401k stops going in. After adjusting, Alex actually needs around 70% of his current gross income to maintain the same lifestyle. That's roughly $85,000 a year. Not the full $120,000 he's used to thinking about. Next, let's add in what his savings actually produce. His investments, combined with Social Security, generate a predictable after-tax income. Suddenly, the picture looks different. Some people discover they are closer to readiness than they thought. Others realize their lifestyle will cost more than retirement income can cover. Either way, knowing which situation you are in is the only thing that matters. Here's another point. Most people never run these numbers. They guess. They rely on assumptions. That's risky. Retiring without a clear picture is like walking blind. So, what's the takeaway? Before you think about leaving your job, calculate how much your retirement income will be, how it compares to your real spending needs, what margin you have for surprises. When your income covers actual retirement spending with a comfortable buffer, you meet the first condition. That's when you can stop asking, "Am I ready?" and start asking, "Why am I still at my desk?" This step alone can change everything. Some people realize they could retire sooner. Others understand they need a few more years to fill a gap. Either way, the math removes uncertainty and fear, and it sets the stage for the next condition. Understanding why you might be delaying retirement unnecessarily. Now, let's talk about something most people don't see coming. The psychological trap. Meet Jamie. She's 55. She's been saving for retirement for decades. Her goal was $1.5 million. She hits that. But she doesn't stop. She moves the target to $2 million, then 2.5. The age changes too. 62 becomes 65, then 67. Why does this happen? Fear, anxiety, identity tied to the paycheck. People delay retirement not because of real financial need, but because letting go feels unsafe. Here's the truth. At some point, another year of work doesn't make you safer. It doesn't meaningfully improve your life. You're just older. And the retirement you were protecting quietly gets shorter. The question to ask yourself is simple. What exactly is the next dollar of savings protecting me from? Sometimes people can name something concrete. That's fine. You solve it. Other times, they can't. That's the answer right there. The extra year of accumulation has no real value. Recognizing this is a condition in itself, not one that appears on a spreadsheet, but as real as any financial number. Understanding this trap can change everything. You stop chasing numbers that don't matter. You start focusing on what actually does: income coverage, planning windows, and timing. And let's be honest, if this hit a little too close to home, comment me. You're not alone. Once you see the difference between genuine need and anxiety, you gain clarity. Clarity leads to better decisions, and better decisions mean you can plan retirement with confidence instead of fear. Now, let's talk about something many retirees overlook: tax opportunities. Alex has a sizable traditional 401k. He's been maxing it out for 20 years. The balance looks great. But there's a catch. When he reaches the age for required minimum distributions, taxes will kick in. Large distributions can push him into higher brackets. This is where Roth conversions come in. And yes, it sounds complicated, but we'll simplify. Imagine Alex retires at 58. He has $2.8 million in his traditional accounts. No pension. Social Security not started yet. He has roughly 15 years of lower income years. That's the window. A golden window to move money into a Roth account at lower tax rates. Now, let's put this in steps. First, Alex identifies the money he can convert each year without jumping into a higher bracket. Next, he transfers that money into a Roth account. Taxes are paid now, at a lower rate. Finally, the money grows tax-free. Withdrawals later do not count as taxable income. If Alex waited until 64, the same balance plus starting Social Security would shrink that window dramatically. The opportunity would narrow. Waiting too long could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in avoidable taxes. Couples have another factor. When one spouse passes away, the survivor's filing status changes. Brackets are cut roughly in half. The Roth conversions done while both spouses are alive protect the survivor. Understanding these opportunities is a key condition for retirement readiness. It's not about having perfect numbers today. It's about knowing what you can do and when. Even if you don't plan to use these strategies fully, awareness matters. Retiring without a plan means you might miss your highest value window entirely. Planning early gives flexibility. Flexibility provides control. And control reduces stress. Every retiree should ask, do I know the opportunities inside my accounts? Do I have a plan to act while the window is open? If the answer is no, it's time to get serious. Now, let's talk about Social Security. Most people think it's simple: claim early or delay for a bigger check. But timing matters far more than most realize. Alex and his spouse, Maria, illustrate this perfectly. Alex is 62. Maria is 61. They have a plan. They evaluate Social Security as part of their overall retirement strategy, not just to get money out early or late. Claiming at 62 provides income during the low tax window. This fills space for Roth conversions. Delaying until 67 keeps early retirement years clean for tax-free growth. The decisions are linked, not separate. Here's another factor: survivor benefits. Maria may outlive Alex. How Alex claims affects her future income. Early claiming increases her survivor benefit less than waiting strategically. Taxes also change. Filing jointly allows higher brackets. Single status later halves the brackets. Poor timing can mean paying more taxes than necessary. So, the key isn't the biggest check today. It's optimizing income for long-term stability. And that means coordinating Social Security with investment strategy and Roth conversions. Let's make it concrete. If Alex claims early at 62, he fills bracket space for 5 years. That's 5 years of potential Roth conversions at lower tax rates. Delay to 67 and the window shrinks. Less room, higher taxes, fewer opportunities. Even couples with identical savings can have different optimal claiming ages. Planning is highly personal. One misstep can cost hundreds of thousands over decades. The takeaway? Social Security timing is not about fear or greed. It's about strategy. Claiming age is a variable in your overall plan. Done correctly, it strengthens retirement readiness. Done incorrectly, it closes high-value windows and increases risk. Next, let's talk about something most people ignore: stress testing your plan. Retirement calculators assume a nice average return, usually 6 or 7%. But life isn't always that simple. What if the market underperforms? What if the first 10 years are rough? That's called sequence of withdrawal risk. Early bad years can permanently damage your portfolio. Alex runs a stress test. First, he calculates guaranteed income, Social Security, pensions, anything arriving regardless of the market. Then he looks at the gap between that income and what he actually plans to spend. Next, he asks, what rate of return does my portfolio need to cover that gap? If the answer is around 6%, the plan works under average conditions. But Alex doesn't stop there. He tests 2%, even 0%. Not because he expects returns to be that low, but to see if the structure holds under stress. Some plans crumble. Others remain solid. If the math works at 2%, market performance becomes upside, not a requirement. That's a fundamentally different psychological experience. Here's the key. Retirement readiness is not about optimism. It's about resilience. Knowing your plan can survive rough markets gives peace of mind. Stress testing also shows the real margin you have for lifestyle choices. Alex can see how much he could safely withdraw, even in a tough decade. This is crucial for confidence. Every retiree should ask, would my plan still work if the market is terrible for the first 10 years? If the answer is yes, you can relax. If not, adjustments are needed. Stress testing is the fifth and final condition. When all 5 conditions are met, you stop asking if you're ready. You start asking why you're still waiting. Let's recap. You now know the 5 key conditions for retirement readiness. First, your income must cover real retirement spending. Not just your salary, but your adjusted lifestyle costs. Second, you must recognize the psychological trap. Are you delaying retirement out of fear or genuine need? Third, understand tax opportunities. Roth conversions and timing before required minimum distributions can save hundreds of thousands. Fourth, Social Security timing matters. Early or delayed claiming affects taxes, conversion windows, and survivor benefits. Fifth, stress test your plan. Make sure it works even if the market underperforms. Sequence of withdrawal risk can be fatal if ignored. Here's the truth. There is no magic age or magic number. But if all 5 conditions are met, you are ready. Not probably ready. Ready. And here's the action step. Stop guessing. Run your numbers. Map out your plan. Test it against worst-case scenarios. Then, make decisions with confidence. No more moving goalposts. No more unnecessary delays. Retirement isn't about perfect numbers. It's about clarity and control. If you're ready to take control and start planning seriously, comment "Go." No motivational quotes, just action. Remember, people who retire confidently aren't the ones with perfect situations. They're the ones who identify gaps, take action, and protect their future while they still can.